welcome to the Scot Ferrell Show. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I greatly appreciate the attention. Also, if you have any questions about me or what I do or where I'm from, or you haven't been able to watch the show previously and you want to know what's his bio, what qualifies him to be in front of that microphone, go to my website, scotferrell.com. Remember, it's SCOTFERRELL.com. Now, also, I always get powered by Dirt Pour Coffee, my favorite coffee. In downtown Summerville, Georgia, a beautiful sleepy town in northwest Georgia. I found it by accident. A friend of mine moved up here, and I was like, why would you move to this town? There's nothing there. She said, exactly. It's one of the most beautiful places I've been. It's relaxing, nice folks. And then I walked into Dirt Pour, and I figured out there were really nice folks in this town, and you could get fabulous coffee and some of the best muffins I've ever had. She also does catering. I've tried everything on the menu. There is no bad meal, and there's definitely no bad coffee if you're a fanatic like I am. Go by and see Snarky. I give all the girls nicknames. I do not use people's names on our show. Just not going to do that. So go see Snarky and Formula One and Smiley, and they'll take care of you. And Heather's the owner, and she's a fabulous person with better coffee to go with it. Now, I got a guest today. I've been on my own lately. This time I wanted to interview some folks. What I do for this show is I want to make sure you get answers. I'm the wake-up call you never planned on, and it's time to wake up and get on with your life and get things accomplished. And I'm going to bring people on from time to time that can help you do things I can't do. I'm not an expert in PR and media. I am not. That's not what I do. I do behavior. That's it. That's my only deal. I do behavior. Anything else is out of my wheelhouse. I'm going to let an expert come on. Today I have Erin Saxton. Erin's a good friend of mine. We've been friends, it feels like forever. As you can see her up on the screen, the Erin Network. Erin used to be the producer for The View. Let's count through this. For View, Barbara Walters specials. She was with Barbara forever. Gen Z, if you don't know who that is, look it up. It's called The Google. The Rosie Show and Good Morning America. Also, here's the cool thing. She was with one of the guys I hold in high esteem, a guy named Jack Canfield. You might have heard of the series Chicken Soup for the Soul. If you haven't, again, look it up. It's called The Google. Last count was 500 million copies have been sold internationally. Also, she's been nominated for an Emmy 4 times. I've only had one. I actually won one for writing. And she specializes in B2B and B2C. That's why she's on today, because regardless if you're 100 million or you're just starting out, she's going to be the person that can help you unlock your PR needs. Erin, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
It's
you
been a
look.
while since you and I have been on camera together.
It's been 10. No, it's been 11 years. You were my last show before I was too sick to continue. I needed to laugh, I guess. It was funny when we did that show. The production team were propping me up in the chair, and when we go to commercial, they would let me lay down, give me something to drink, and get me back in the chair. I was so sick
Oh,
doing that show that day. I did not realize it was my last one for 11 years. Every day, Patricia and I thought, well, I'll get better, and I didn't. So now I'm back. Don't worry, guys. Erin's not going to go anywhere. She'll be on here from time to time. She's one of the people I respect most in the industry, and she just happens to be like a sister to me. So she is not allowed to go anywhere. All right, here's what we're going to talk about today, so I'll let everybody know. Keep in mind, Erin's a single mother. All right, so if you're a single mom, we have a lot of single mothers that listen. She's also a business owner. She's also been a producer. She does PR. She helps people write books. She helps people get famous. She helps people make money, which we all do if we own a business. I would call you a media genius, and you're beautiful to go with it. And you're wearing a top that my wife has. So it's funny. Erin and my wife dress alike, and they're good friends. So even when the two of you aren't together, you still look alike.
I love it.
All right. First of all, single mom. It's funny when Erin and I were out in Las Vegas together. She was doing a speech, and she had me and Patricia, my wife, hold her phone so her little boy could see her speech. It was so sweet, and he's so adorable. Now, update us on that little boy and what he's doing now.
So that was so long ago, right?
It
I mean,
was
oh my
forever ago.
gosh. So I traveled I tried to only do speaking engagements when I could bring him along. So you've met Eric a bunch of times, but that was one time where he just wasn't out of school yet. And I'm on the East Coast. I live in New Jersey, kind of not northern New Jersey. And he was wanting to see. So he woke up really early and he wanted to see that. And so, yeah, you held him and we FaceTimed or did something live. Um, he was, I think, probably 5 or 4 years
Yeah.
old then.
Yeah, he was
He's
a little.
he's 21 now.
That's so hard to believe, and it also means that you and I got older. But
No, that didn't happen though. He got older,
yeah,
but
he
we
got
did
older.
not.
We did not. Yeah, but you
No.
still look priceless, so don't worry about it.
Oh, I've been called a lot of names. Priceless has never been one of them.
Now, Eric's got a cool life now. If people up in your area of the woods are hockey fanatics, and I am. I'm a Carolina Hurricanes fan, nationally up in
Mm,
North Carolina, and they're doing well in the Stanley Cup race right now. They won an
yep.
OT last night, but Eric's got a special assignment for him right now. Where's he and who's he playing for?
So Eric has always been into ice hockey. He started skating when he was 3 and he started playing for USA Hockey. Like, everybody plays for US Hockey. I'm not saying he was representing
Right.
our nation, but at the age of 5.5, we started playing competitively. And by the time he was, I don't know what age, his little team was number 4 in North America, right? I mean, these
Wow.
boys, some have gone on to play professionally already. Everybody's at a different locale in this world. Um, they've all gone through, and the majority of them just have kept skating all the way up to now. They're all about 20, 21. And Eric graduated high school a few years ago. For some reason, ice hockey, you then go, it's not always, but
Yeah.
it's most likely you then go into juniors. And
Yep.
juniors are these 3-year gray area where you kind of get taller, get bigger, get stronger, and you figure out if you want to go play
Yeah.
collegiately, NCAA. So that's what Eric did. That's what most of the kids I know. Some kids got put right into university, and then they're the ones that are already in the NHL right now. They played on the U.S.
Yeah.
developmental team, so like we're already at that level, right? Like,
Right.
it's so funny. Like in golf, there's such a difference between pro amateur and
Yes.
or amateur and then pro. Like there's just miles apart. In this case, who knows? Like they're all great. They've all deserve all the best. So Eric just finished his 3 years, and scouts were coming to see all these kids play, and now you're learning who chose what school. And Eric was offered had a bunch of offers, but he chose to play for Coach Hooley for University of St. Joseph, and it's in West Hartford, Connecticut. It was founded in 1932. But what's interesting is they've never had a men's or women's hockey team. So Eric will be
Wow.
helping make history, and he will be playing on the first inaugural men's hockey team.
Man, that is so cool to be able to
It's
do
fun.
that. It's funny. I follow the Blackhawks too, and I was following the guys who just got on the Blackhawks. And my wife was asking me, "Where's the minors?" I said, "Well, the minors for the NHL is college." She goes, I said, "Watch this with me." So I had her watch the Blackhawks documentary with me, Connor Bedard and all the guys that were on there. She goes, "I had no idea. People don't realize the way hockey's geared versus the Major League Baseball, NBA, or NFL. And it's a longer, more tiring road for hockey. But
Yeah,
you need
exhausting.
the experience, and which leads me to the next question. At 21, you got quite the break at 21, didn't you, or 20-ish, when you got a chance to go to Good Morning America. What was
Yeah,
that like?
intense. It was intense. I was in college, and my I needed to choose an internship, and my college was going to send me over to Howard Stern at the time had a TV show, and it wasn't like working with Howard. I mean, he's brilliant. The modern day Howard would have been great, but the Howard of yesteryear
Oh, boy.
wouldn't have been the right fit for me. And then my other choice was like a really, 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 really local um, cable TV company, and that didn't fit feel like a really good fit either.
Right.
So we put out our feelers and through different networking, which is huge. I can't stop talking about people just have to constantly be networking, not because somebody can do something for you, but you can do something for them and then they'll owe you one. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But I'm
It's
not
true.
wrong.
It's
Yeah,
true.
I'm not wrong.
It's true.
So I I got an opportunity to apply for an internship at Good Morning America. Now, no way did that mean my resume didn't even have a special color paperclip, right? I just got the interview. So I got there, it was 200 applicants and 6 departments, 6 hour interview. Each department had you for an hour. And then I'm like, I should ask better questions. And so I finally said, how many internship slots are available? And this woman, Ruth Ann Alsop, said 25. And then I knew, oh, this is competitive. So many people, including myself, are just,
Right.
you don't know what you don't know. And then when it hits you, like my stomach and bowels dropped. I was like, fudge, you know? So, but I'm a very competitive person, but in a nice, you
Right.
know, really super nice way. So I thought, oh, okay, game on. And I got one of the spots.
Which I'll tell you a quick story. I don't think I've ever told you this. My agent called me one day for radio, and he said, "You're never going to believe who called me." He said, "Kevin Bacon. You know how everybody's 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon." Kevin
Yeah.
called him and said, "You're now 1 degree from Kevin Bacon. I need a favor." Talking about favor networking. He goes, "My nephew needs a job. Would you consider giving him an internship?" Well, he goes, "I owe you a favor. Whatever it is, I owe you because my sister won't get off my back." So my agent gave him a job at the radio station.
Oh my gosh.
So talk about networking. Now, you network this into, again, Gen Z, if you don't know who this is, look her up, Barbara Walters. You ended
Mhm.
up going from that specific thing to being on Good Morning America, which you got that, and The Rosie Show and Barbara Walters specials, which I used to watch all the time, um, and The View, the
Yeah.
View when it started. What was that like to do all those?
Oh, I mean, I loved it. It's fast paced. It's, in our industry, and I'm calling our industry like the media,
Yeah,
any
right,
kind of media. It's not like back in the day too. Don't forget, I'm 56, right? So this was 92,
right. Yeah,
1992. It's not like we had social media. It's not even like there was like job websites, like barely, you know, the the internet was just a whisper or something. So you had to still look through job directories, but no one in television was putting out an ad in the Wall Street Journal like, hey, needed, a production
right,
assistant. So you just had to really kind of advocate for yourself and reach out and keep, if you're an introvert in our industry, dear goodness, like you had to just keep networking and figuring out what was available. And then you play this game, at least I did, where you pretended like you knew
right,
how it worked. Meanwhile, I didn't have a clue. So you just kind of faked it, right? So I saw these want ads and they were at the elevator base and there was an opening for entry level for Barwall Productions. I'm like, Barwall. So like Barbara Walters, right? So really creative. But so I knew by then that I needed to, because after my internship and I graduated college, Good Morning America hired me out of all. So let's just have a moment. So
right,
we had 200, then to 25 slots, and then I was given a job.
right.
I don't
Which are
want to,
wonderful. Yeah,
well, no, I'm just saying, like, so it got, once I once that bell came up, like I went ding,
Right.
oh, okay. Then I was like, I hate cardio, but I'm going to sprint through this. I'm going to make this my bitch. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's what I did. Um, but then I knew I wasn't going to be staying long in any spot, which my parents didn't understand because they're educators. And so,
Yeah.
they want tenure, pension, health benefits. I was getting none of that. So I had to do what I needed to do. And so I bounced a little bit, like a little bunny.
Now, what was it
And that's
like
what I did.
in the early days of The View? What was that like?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, if you look at any of these shows that talk about like startups and long nights and just sitting around throwing tennis balls against the wall and brainstorming, like, we need an idea, give us an idea. Like, that's actually not far from what really happens, right? So, you don't see the light of day. You're on a startup. It's just, you just want that first celebrity guest that takes a chance. Somebody owes you a favor, talk
Yeah.
about it. And so then they'll say yes. So at least you have, like, the first week, you just want to get the biggest celebrity names, the coolest back half of the shows. Maybe somebody that like climbed a mountain and overcame breast cancer. I'm not trying to be flippant about it, but
Right.
maybe a fashion show, maybe I don't know, but you have to try to hit like tear jerking, inspirational, promotional with a celebrity. You have to, like, I mean, the first few months of a show launching is everything. So it was intense.
Yeah. It's funny. You tell so many stories about Barbara. Um, she threw you, what, it was a birthday party? She got you a pizza?
For my birthday.
Do you remember
So
that
yeah,
story?
I
Yes,
do
please
remember
tell
that.
that story
Why do you remember that story? That's
because
so fun.
it's so unique and I have so many food allergies. That one story stuck in my head.
Oh my gosh. So Barbara, we had our own production offices on 53rd and 7th at the time. But then her 2020 offices was up at 147 Columbus Avenue, which was around 66, 67th Street. So she had two executive assistants, and they were like amazing because Barbara was like no joke. These women knew shorthand and like I mean, you have like
Right.
kings and dignitaries and politicians and calling in. So anyway, one day one of them was out sick or something. So they send me up there. I'm like, "Wait, what? It's my birthday." And at 53rd and 7th, we're foodies.
Right.
So we've been talking about what we're going to order for my birthday lunch for like weeks, right? Because everybody gets a birthday lunch.
Right.
And now I'm going uptown to sit with Barbara, and who I like very
Yeah. Right.
much,
Yeah.
but it's a different type of, vibe.
Yeah. Completely.
So she finds out I'm sitting up there. She doesn't say anything. I'm not walking in and being like, "It's my birthday," right? No, it's
Right.
just now I don't even have the right clothes on. I didn't even know that I was going to be up there because, like, there's production TV vibe, and
Yeah.
then there's sitting in front of Barbara Walters vibe. Well, I was grungy production, whatever vibe. But my saving grace was I am around her daughter's age.
Right.
So she got me, and my mom is very similar in the same personality as Barbara. So you don't stammer in front of women like that. You just say it. You're comfortable being uncomfortable, and you just say it, and you just run into the storm. And really, when you deal with women like that, they're quite lovely, mostly, right?
Mostly. Yeah.
Mostly. And I'm using
Mostly.
that in like an
Yeah.
italic font, like mostly. But anyway, so Barbara gets wind that it's my birthday, and I was on the phone with Ross Perot,
Oh
believe it or not.
boy, with his
Why not?
accent.
Right?
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
not?
Hey, is Barbara there? And you're like, hold on. Hey, yeah, it's me, Ross Perot. I just need her for a minute. And I'm like, oh, I don't even know what to do. Like, does she take Ross's calls? Like, do I put him on a list? She's on the phone. Ugh, and it's my birthday. So I put all that through. I don't even know how that ends, but it ends well because I thought on my feet. And she's like, Erin, is it your birthday? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, we must have lunch. And I'm like, well, thank goodness. Yes. So she's like, do you want pizza? I'm like, this day, wow, yes, I want pizza. She's like, okay. And then she asked the one assistant that's still there. So they say veggies, they say, something else. And so the pizza comes and she opens up the pizza and there's no cheese,
It still blows my mind.
no cheese. I'm like, It's just dough with like sauce and then whatever vegetables everybody called out just laying there. And like you can't even when you go to pick it up,
It
like
won't
it was
hold
just like
together.
it was
Yeah.
like a vegetable slide at a playground, like, oh, like. But I was so appreciative of her doing that. And she's like, well, I can't eat cheese. Like, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And I think the crust was gluten free or something. Like, I don't know, whatever. But and back in the day, gluten free
Yeah.
doesn't taste like gluten free now. I'm not like anyway, I loved that I loved it.
Yep.
She's like, I'm sorry you
Yeah.
have to be here during your birthday.
Yeah. It's
She's
it's
like,
for someone like Barbara to do your birthday. That's a big deal, and it's probably like eating cardboard box with tomato sauce.
100%
Now you
with
par.
Barbara
Yeah. It's fo-
talking about
Oh,
it.
you know what I think of, right? Anne Hathaway, Devil Wears Prada. Now Barbara's not like that, but that's what it reminds me of because Barbara's a
Yeah,
way nicer person than Nuclear Winter.
exactly.
But because I've got
But it
friends that,
does it does
yeah,
evoke the same hold your breath moments,
it
you know?
does. Because,
Small talk with Barbara was I've had wonderful moments with her. Wonderful, wonderful moments with her, and I'm sad she passed away, a few years ago. But, um, you literally there was no exhaling even in your small chit chat because you never knew what you didn't want to say anything that revealed something that might affect somebody else because there's no turning it back. So you can't gossip, you can't
no,
like, oh, I hear da 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 went out on a date last night. No, you can't even talk like office stuff because you don't
yeah,
want it.
yeah, no,
You
yeah.
can't turn it back.
She was the queen of media, and she was the number one person in the world at that time. And the fact that
100%.
you were on that list, I mean, if you wanted to go somewhere, Barbara's the way you did it. Which parlays into my next question. It's the story that everybody wants to hear. You know what it is. There's a famous actor from the show ER that had an opportunity to give you some sugar one day, and he took advantage of it. Everybody asked me, please have Aaron tell that story. So go ahead. You know who I'm talking about. Tell the story.
So my love, George Clooney. It's a great moment. It really is. So Barbara, we were at George's house for the production, and he was just starting on ER, and he just moved into a house which had no furniture at all. And so we thought, okay, we're going to get a ladder in the background. We're going to order flowers. We're going to do all this stuff. And there's this wonderful florist there. And I call them a few days before because we do the survey. And I said, I just need roses. Now I do flower design. I can do stuff. Heck, I don't even need a glue gun though. I use it because why no heroes here, right? But I really can create stuff. Like I'm craftsy like that.
Right.
So I say to them, I know I'm in Los Angeles. Now remember, I'm New York, New Jersey. So I'm like, I get that I'm in Los Angeles, but save all the accoutrements. I just need like 3 dozen roses. Boom. And that I'm going to put on a paint stained ladder. And that's George's background. This man is so beautiful. You don't need anything else.
Right.
Plus, our guys light stuff so beautifully. Well, sure enough, it comes. It's a flippin' cornucopia with like, there's these grapes I was like, where's the flippin' pilgrim
Roses. Yeah,
that
yeah.
goes with this cornucopia? There was like those honeycomb beehives with the circle things with the like, I don't know, I should know the name of it. But then there was like pine cones, and it was like, I don't know. It could have fed a village of people. So I had to deconstruct all of this thorns and whatever, and I had it all out. And so George walks in and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, so I tell him the story. Meanwhile, Barbara's in a bad mood,
Oh boy.
not happy. I don't know why. I used to know why, but I don't remember. And she's just in a bad mood,
Yeah.
and the flowers didn't make her happy. And so she's just not mad at anyone, but she's not like, it's not flow and ease.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So she was particularly tough on me that day because I'm the young grunt of the crew. There's only
Yes.
8 of us. So, and 3 of them are back in the New York office. So it's me. You're
It's
looking at it.
Aaron's day to get chewed out.
Yeah, it's my turn. So I think throughout the day, she like there was a problem with the printer. Like it wasn't her fault, but it was a day where like, I think we would have said these days Mercury was in retrograde. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was
Yes.
one of those. So George, I think, unbeknownst to me, witnessed a certain like whatever. So and meanwhile, George is there and all of his really handsome friends are there too. Like, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Right. And I'm super young at the time. And cause it's just one of my first shoots out from Good Morning America. So I'm like still fresh out of college. And I thought, this is amazing. Um, and we do it all. I deconstruct, my hands are bleeding. His pig, Max, um, made friends with me. So Max, his Vietnamese potbelly pig, would sit next to me while I was deconstructing the flower arrangement. I have a picture of Max and I'll send it to you.
Send it to me.
I will. And so when it was time to come say goodbye, George just was like he would hug Barbara and he saved me for last. Like it was weird. He was saying goodbye to people and I was like, "Oh great, now George isn't even going to say goodbye to me." And I wasn't I wasn't starstruck. Like I'm not a person that's
Right.
starstruck, but as a girl and he's
Oh
so
yeah.
cute, like I was like, "Come on." So all of a sudden he's like, "You, Erin, come here you." And he's like, "You had quite the day." And I just was like, he sees me, you know? And all of a sudden he like plants a kiss right on my lips.
Wow.
Now I'd like to say we lingered. He whispered in my ear. He was like, "Hey, let's go to the Ivy lately." None of that happened.
He still
But
calls you and begs for another kiss, doesn't he?
well, he doesn't stop texting me. I mean, it's unbelievable.
And now you probably have all the guys from Ocean 11 texting you too, going, we heard you're so dynamic. We have to meet you."
Yeah, just one kiss.
All right,
He's
let's.
obsessed now with me.
People always want to hear that story because every person I know that knows George talks about how nice he is and how cool he is and how much fun he is.
He's amazing.
I've never
Really
gotten to
great.
meet him, but everybody I know that knows him loves him.
Yeah.
Um, which brings me to the next guy that I have so much admiration for, Jack Canfield.
Yes.
Okay, Gen Z, again, look this up on Google or whatever search engine you use.
Mhm.
It is Chicken Soup for the Soul. The man's absolutely amazing. My
Success
regret is,
principles.
yeah, I never got to interview him. I
Oh,
remember
you're
what,
kidding.
no, you tried, I think we tried 3 times to get him on my show, and I never got to. Now, if he's still doing interviews, I'd be glad to have him on.
I
Um,
could check it out.
yeah, check it out for me. Talk about that experience being with one of the nicest people that ever walked the planet, actually.
Yeah. He's great, and the whole team is great, and I think when you're surrounded by a team and a process that works, you can be really great. There's no reason to not be great and nice,
Right.
truly. So, um, Jack was one of my very first clients when I left The View. When I left The View, I had this idea to create a company that bridged the gap between the media and anybody who wanted to be in the media.
Right.
So Patty Aubrey, was really the one that saw, yeah, let's do it. I sent my stuff in. A mutual colleague said, you guys you should work with Patty and Jack. And so I said, okay. And so I made up marketing material. I went to Staples and I got like red folder. Like I didn't know what I was doing. That was my first foray into business because here I'm a creative TV producer.
Right.
So we set up a meeting and that was, I mean, I don't even know, 20 whatever years ago. I've been
Yeah, at
friends with
least,
them
yeah.
for a long time. So I started doing all the media PR outreach for most of the chicken books. And I just call them the chicken books. And then he started Success Principles.
Yeah.
And then we did the 10th anniversary,
Yep.
10-year anniversary Success Principles. He did vision boards. We booked him on Oprah. We booked him on the Today Show. We booked him everywhere. And it's great. I haven't worked with him professionally for a while, but we all kind of keep in touch. And Patty Aubrey and I text like regularly, and we speak like she's just one of my very, very close friends. So there's certain things that it was just such a great situation and a great relationship. It still is. It's just evolved and ebbed and flowed.
Yeah, because I mean, we all do get older. Do you know how old Jack is now?
He just turned 80.
It has gone by, hasn't it? Uh,
Yeah.
okay, I'll have to interview, see what you can do about getting him on my show.
All
All
right.
right.
I'll see what I can do.
So now let's get to you. It's you help B2B, B2C. If you don't know what that is, she's going to explain it for you. But the key is somebody like me or somebody wanting to get in the media. Thank God I've been doing this for 20-ish years now. Um, what do you recommend to people? Let's say somebody wants to start out, right? Somebody's a speaker or has an internet, so-called podcast. What do you recommend for them to get more eyes on what they do, and what's a realistic timetable for them to do that?
So I really think that a lot of people think that just being in the media is a marketing plan.
Right,
And while it's a tactic, that's not a marketing plan. So first and foremost, I really want everybody to just, it doesn't have to be fancy, but marketing consists of a lot of different things. And then underneath the header of marketing is advertising, public relations, social media. That's the way I think of it.
yes,
So it's like, how do you work with each of those, or how do you work or choose not to work with each one of them? And then under marketing, are you going to do grassroots? Are you going to do bake sales? Are you going to,
right.
what are you going to do to kind of spread the word? And I want everybody to have a plan. So that's that. Update a website, have really great collateral material, have updated photos, like all your basics that your chat GPT will tell you have to do that. And do that before you hire anybody,
Right,
because that'll save you some money. Then I really want people to kind of like come up with, when I create marketing plans for my clients, I I come up with like a multi-prong plan. So I'm okay with failing. I just want to fail fast
right,
if
right.
something's not going to work.
Yep,
But I think a successful campaign, you need to give it at least 4 months to see if something's going to work. So, I think that, but obviously, if a tree isn't bearing fruit after 6 months, I don't know if
yeah,
I would keep doing that becomes then the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same
right,
thing over and over again, expecting different results. So I like going after the media. I like, maybe if it's a brand where you're a speaker, you speak for free. I don't love people paying to speak, though people will debate that model
Right.
because then there's a rev share. So I'm not talking against it. It's just that my clients won't do that because I I guess I represent a certain group that it just their their price point of the services they offer
Right.
are never going to net a good deal, right? So for me, I don't, if you have a widget or you're selling something for $79, yeah, great. You can sell the room, 300 people in the room, people are going to, but when you're selling something like my clients do, and they might have a consulting package, or Scott, when you work with somebody,
Yeah.
you're not going to sell out the room.
No,
Even you're so great, but there, people are going to either
not going to happen.
not realize they're ready.
Yep.
They're not gonna realize they're ready. Those are the people that really need you.
Yeah.
And then when you tell them your prices, then they're gonna be like, "What are you, on glue?" You know what I mean? So it's just different. So but getting some speaking topics, doing a lot of content and media, social media, posting that, getting your following up would be great. And regularly appearing in the media is really, really key, in my opinion. And that normally is done with a PR person. And a PR person can charge anywhere between like $3,000 and $15,000 a month, which is expensive. And I should know because that's kind of what I charge. But I've tried to come up with other services so I can still help people without putting them into that financial commitment, especially if they're just starting out. Like somebody like Jack Canfield,
Yeah.
fine. I'll just, he would pay me blah, blah, blah a month, and I would do my thing. And it would be different because then his public speeches were like 40, $50,000 a speech.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
So that, okay, there you pay for me for the year. So that's easy. Um, I like the consistency of everybody being in the media, hit a nice cadence. So, maybe try to do at least 3 media interviews a month if possible. So that's what I think. It's just to pitch yourself to the media and work on your business, and then be probably a parent or a dog parent or a coworker, or maybe this is your side hustle, and then you're managing other things. I'm not sure how everyone is supposed to do all that. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I've tried to create options to help people along the way.
Yeah. What baffles me is when things get hard for people, the first thing they cut is marketing.
I know.
And I'm gonna let you explain why that's insanity. Because they'll go, well, I got to cut marketing. No, you probably need to multiply that by three. Will
It's
you
true.
please handle that fallacy on why that's a bad idea?
Yeah. So I know, I see why, right? So like when I'm on a budget, there's certain things that I cut.
Right.
But in business, marketing is the one that gets you to your customers. Marketing is the one that gets you to start being trusted by your customers.
Yes.
Marketing is the one that starts getting your name in their brain 6 to 8 times is the impressions, and then they purchase. So if you're going to cut something without marketing, no one's hearing about you, no
Right.
one's seeing you. And so where are you going then? I'm not sure what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that debate even comes up, because like, and then sometimes I think people think they can do it, or then they assign it to somebody who's already overworked, and then that person bitches behind the back of the person that assigned it. They ultimately don't succeed, and then something ends up failing. So what I think is, you don't have to cut marketing, you can scale back. There's alternate ways to still market, right? You can cut the marketing person you're working with.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay $20,000 a month. And that's why I encourage people to look for alternate ways to get her done. So, but as far as marketing itself, PR, media, advertising, you can scale down or you can do it differently, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater because everyone's going down the drain at that point. I actually
Right.
guarantee it.
Absolutely. Which brings me to my next question. You have a program. It's funny how you try to make marketing available to everyone. And you're really good about helping startups, helping one person, 5-person shop. What's the new program you've got that people listening, and listen closely, please, the new program you've got for people to be able to work with you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love it. So I've always been really dedicated to, I feel badly. So being a PR owner, I feel badly when I see the amount of money people pay. And yet, if you knew what it took to get this going, this machine with staff and the databases with the
Yeah.
media outlets, and there's hard costs here. And then there's like really good media pitching talent is not cheap.
No.
And, I'm not going to have like a green behind the ear intern who's never picked up the phone to order a pizza call the media for you
Right.
and then charge you $7,000 a month. So talent costs money. So um I just knew I was leaving a lot of people behind and I didn't like that. And as the years have gone on, there's more and more media now with
Yes.
podcasts and people having shows and YouTube and things like that. And now it makes it that there's not enough manpower hours. It's flipped. So now even my media pitchers, in order for them to truly pitch every
Yes.
possible media outlet you could be in, you'd be paying them so many hours, like so much money a month. And yet they deserve it because it's really hard to pitch the media. I'm not going to lie. Like it's
Oh,
like
yes.
telemarketing meets like attitude,
Yep.
and I can say that because I used to be the one in the
Right.
media picking up the phone, and it's an art form. And it's not a one size fits all pitch. Like you really need to custom design that. So I thought, I wish we could figure out a way to get somebody or something to pitch the media that's affordable, not to take away business from agencies like mine, but to be inclusive for people who have a less of a budget. And so instead of it being $10,000 a month, maybe it's $10,000 a year, or instead of
Right.
$6,000 a month, maybe it's 6,000 for 6 months. But either way, thousands and thousands of media outlets will be being pitched, which is
Right.
still more than your PR firm who would be charging you that, right? So we designed that. We created it. It's called Pitch Me to Media, and we're not your PR firm.
Right.
You all of you stay in charge. We use your emails. We work with you on your pitch letter, your hooks. So that's where
Right.
I still
Oh,
my
yeah.
name's on it. So it's not like, robo driven. Like it's me, I'm doing it. Um so we do that and people are loving it. And it's really great. And then on the other side, and you've done this with me, I also do Erin on Demand, which I'm starting a new one. I don't know if you want to join it, but I've been running these and I love it. So 8 to 10 people in a group, hot seats. I used to do this for Jack Canfield at his retreats. They
Right.
were like, Erin, can you cover? Can you do one session? I'm like, yeah, put a
Sure.
bench in the middle of the room. They're like, why? I'm like, you'll see. And so I'm like, can we dim the lights and just put a spotlight on them? And, I would do like laser training, focus, media training. Sometimes people ask about sales. Sometimes they want to know about a book title. Sometimes it's how to get their social media following up. Sometimes it's how to produce a children's book or how to get more speaking engagements or really just a marketing plan. And yet they don't have the budget and they really do want to do it themselves and they don't have a choice. They have to do it themselves.
Yes.
So I put 8 to 10 people in a group and that's like $500 a month.
What's the fastest way they can reach you to do that? And how
Oh,
can they reach you?
they can, well, do you want them to go through your show and then you?
just let it, what's the fastest way they can do it currently?
Erin, QRS at gmail.com, or you can go to my website, theerinnetwork.com,
Cool.
and it's
Yeah,
all right there.
it's funny. We were sitting in Vegas one weekend, and you were there with me. Our friend Bernie Dorman used to just hammer me. It's funny. Bernie, genius level IQ, it created lots of products for a lot of people. And boy, was he ruthless when he got in on you, and he just pulled me aside and just hammered me. But the thing was, I was sitting with Bob Stracosta one day, HSN, and then Bob goes, "Okay, I think you're ready. You need to be on my network." And we were setting up a thing with HSN when I got sick, and it didn't have. It's just like with my TV show talking about speaking fees. We got canceled. I'd asked them. I said, "What's my speaking fees once we hit the air?" And they said, "Well, it'll range between 20 and 50,000 a speech."
Yeah.
And then we got canceled.
Yeah.
Now I have
I
a
know.
great speaker agent. His name's Bruce Marin. He does celebrity speakers. He's out of Las Vegas, Nevada. His claim to fame, you'll like this. His godmother is Joan Crawford,
Wow.
and he used to handle. His best friend was Michael Landon, Little House on the
Oh,
Prairie, and
yeah.
he handled
His daughter
Johnny.
is so great in Yellowstone, or
Yes,
was.
she
Yeah.
is, and Bruce helped set that up. And
Really.
yeah, Bruce is. I think Bruce graduated with Kurt Russell and Tom Selleck from
So
Hollywood High
great.
School. Yeah, he's got the coolest story. I'm having him on. I think he's next week actually, and I'm gonna have
Awesome.
him
Can you
come
ask him
on.
if he'll be my agent?
Yes, I'll talk to him. He's the greatest guy. He'll text me, and he'll be on the exercise bike at 5 in the morning in Vegas, and go, "Why aren't you up yet?" And last night we were texting because hockey was on, and he loves hockey. All right,
Yeah.
Erin, we've got to wrap this up. I have to get a promise from you. Will you come
Yes.
back? Will you come back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 100%.
Okay, everybody, be smart. If you need marketing or PR help, I was smart. I hired a PR and journalism. I married a PR and journalism major. My wife ghostwrites books. She helps me write all my books. You'll be happy to know I have 4 coming out this year.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, they've been backlogged. It's time to go ahead and release them. My publisher started to hang up on me because he thought it was a prank call. But no, I was being serious. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me. It was nice to see everybody.
We love you. Let's look in a couple months, bring you back.
I love it.
All right, sweetheart. I'll see you
Thank you,
later.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, take care, baby.
Toodaloo.
Bye. All right, now we got to get to the mailbag. I can't get out of here without the mailbag. My wife's so sweet. She gives me these cards. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with Erin, you can contact me, but it's easier if you go to her network. Her name is Erin Saxton. Remember that. She's absolutely wonderful. I've been working with Erin for, oh my gosh, it seems like forever now. And she's one of my closest friends and like family to us. So now for the mailbag, it's show@scotferrell.com if you want to send one in. We're starting to get a lot of questions, and it's happening like it used to for me. I'll be out, and somebody asks me a question. They'll go, "Can you throw this in the mailbag?" And here's one I got the other day from the mailbag. It's funny. It's a question from John in Savannah. Now we shoot this show in Georgia, so just like my radio show was based out of Georgia, we get a lot of Georgia people asking questions. I get this question a lot. I pre-read it today. My wife wears nothing but athleisure and a ball cap. I'm sick of it. When we first dated, she always looked beautiful. Now she never dresses up anymore, and I miss it. What do I do? Okay. I get that from a lot of guys. I get that from a lot of married guys, especially guys who have stay-at-home moms. I remember when I was a kid, I had 2 favorite moms on TV, Donna Reed and June Cleaver. Why? They always met their husbands at the door, beautiful dress, pearls, high heels, and they always looked fabulous. Now, here's the key with this. Well, 1, you've got to vocalize your displeasure, but 2, always remember when you ask someone to do something, are you willing to do the same? So, how's your dress? How do you look? What are you wearing all the time? Are you wearing the normal male outfit with bad shoes, khakis, and a golf shirt somebody gave you? Do you look homeless when you go out? Or do you look good? I made my wife a promise when we got married. Now, I kind of cheat because coming out of high school, I had an opportunity to go to the Institute of Design for fashion. A lot of people do not know that. And I wanted to major in merchandising because merchandising, you got to sell it. But I also wanted design because my favorite period is the 30s, 40s, and 50s of American fashion, actually worldwide fashion. So if you notice, I wear a sport coat on camera. I got a lot of clothes, so does my wife. So I promised my wife when we got married, barring my sickness, I will always look good for you. I'll always dress nicely. My wife's never had to go, oh, don't wear that, or would you, I know. I actually take my clients, people that work with me, I work with CEOs, so I'll take them shopping and go, we've got to update everything about you. You got to look good, feel good. I sound like I'm Ric Flair, dance all night, right? So before you start in on her, what do you look like? Go look in the mirror, man. It's not that hard. Go, how am I looking? Do I need to cut off some weight? Do I look pregnant? Do I need to get rid of this belly? How's my hair or lack of hair look? It doesn't matter if you have hair. If you're bald, you can still look good. Ask Bruce Willis. Everybody seems to like him. It's how do you present yourself? Are your clothes clean? Do you wash your hair? How do you smell? Do you wear a fragrance she likes? Now, if you're doing all of those things, address it with her. I know a lot of people that just kind of give up when they hit midlife. They don't feel good. They probably need to go see a doctor, and they just stopped caring. So address those needs. Address you first, and then address her. All right, so handle you first, then address her. Let me get to the next question because I'm definitely running out of time. I'm looking at the clock. All right, this is Sarah, North Carolina. Recently, my husband's been experiencing some illness-related issues, which I saw on one of your previous shows that you and your wife battled through. I see my husband getting more and more frustrated that his condition limits him from doing things he used to do easily. What's the best thing I can do for him? All right, outside of getting to the right doctor, that's always the key. Somebody's got an MD beside their name. Support him. I know when I first started seeing my issues with my health, we didn't know what was wrong with me. But she had to believe that the symptoms were real because they were almost phantom symptoms. We really couldn't figure out what was going on. Now, eventually it did show up on a blood test, and we had my mitochondria measured, and I was 94 years old by the age of my mitochondria. That's a problem. You're close to death when that happens. Support, listen, just be there. It's not as hard as you think because I told my wife when I was sick and terminally ill, it was easier to be me than her. It's always easier to be the patient than it is the caretaker because we don't feel like we're losing somebody we love. We're not in the storm. It's much harder for the caretaker that's in the storm to be able to do it. So, gotta look around. There we go. All right, got it. So just support him, just listen, get him to the right doctors, and just be there. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but it is simple. And just keep it simple. Just be there, listen, love, care for. That's about all you can do. That's it. Let me get the last question because I don't ever like to leave questions behind. All right, last one. Jordan, Ringgold, Georgia. Got this one the other day. It was great. I had to write this one down. I'll be graduating from high school this year, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life, and I'm supposed to go to college in a few months. What do I do to figure this out? All right, I got a few seconds to answer this. Excuse me. I tell people this all the time. In business, if you want to be successful, solve a problem, be best at solving that problem, and be irreplaceable. I learned that from Bob Proctor. Look him up. He's probably the foremost teacher of human programming that ever lived, so probably one of the best ever. So what 3 things could you go professional in? Okay, it could be you're beautiful. It could be that you're great at writing. Mathematics, I was good at mathematics. And I liked clothes, so merchandising was a good thing, and I could also do physics. What is it that you can go pro in? If you don't know what the 3 things are, go to somebody that loves you. I didn't say somebody you love, somebody that's always been for you. All right, so this young lady's college age, normally it's grandma. It was me, my My grandmas were my biggest fans, the people I loved the most, the people I trusted the most. It was grandma for me. So I would always go and ask my grandmother what she saw in me. And when I lost her, it was my Aunt Frances. And my Aunt Frances saw in me, and she was my sounding board. She just passed. Everybody in my family lives to be ripe old age. And she was always my sounding board since could walk. And so then you go, okay, what skills do I need to obtain to be able to do this? It may be college. It could be trade school. It could be a technical school. It could be beauty school. It could just be going doing an internship. I know kids that want to get into the film and TV business. You've just heard me and Erin. We've been at this over 20 years. I asked the producer of the Jackie Robinson story, 42, how he liked to be approached, and he said, "Just come work for me on the crew. Just come work for me." And we were at a Super Bowl party with the people from several TV shows, and they also did the last Marvel movie for the Avengers. They said the same thing. Just tell these kids to come work on our production team and then work their way up in production if they want to be behind the camera. And personally, it's a lot easier sometimes to be behind. Now, this is my show, so I'm the boss, so I don't have to worry about somebody firing me. But when you do, a lot of times it is easier to be in production. So you have to decide, okay, am I afraid to go after what I want, or is it worth it to go after what I want? For me to do this, I left teaching. I used to be a high school teacher, which I enjoyed, and I liked being a high school basketball coach. But I don't say better, I liked basketball. I was a good coach. I like this better. One, I'm the boss, okay? I do like that aspect of it. But instead of reaching 150 kids a day, now I can reach millions of people from a microphone and a camera. And a lot of people need help, especially in the world of behavior. And because of me being in the entertainment business so long, I'm able to have friends on that are well-known and world-famous and can help people. And our guest next week coming up, I've got two guests coming up. One's my agent, Bruce Marin, and he's absolutely amazing and has Hollywood of who's who. And then I'm having a buddy of mine named Randy Sutton, who's been in countless movies, but he does the Wounded Blue. So his whole focus is helping people that are in law enforcement that have been hurt in action and getting the people what they need. So, Jordan, my suggestion is figure out the three things you can go pro in and then pursue those. I'm not real big on working on weaknesses. I'm more about developing your strengths. So what do you have to offer to the world? Now make, again, three things of business. Solve a problem, be the best at solving a problem, and be irreplaceable. Now, as we sign off today, don't forget something. There's people out there that love you. Let them know how much you love them. And how do you do that? All five senses, especially your wife or husband. You reach all five senses on somebody, and they'll appreciate that. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Take care. See you next time.